Hi, namaste, and welcome to the new episode of Drag Me to Heaven, a podcast talking about faith and drag and how exactly both of them incline with each other. I am Patruni Shastri, aka Suffocated Art Specimen, aka SAS, your host, where I drive this conversation about faith and drag. So today's episode, we have a very wonderful guest who will be joining us to kind of talk about a very interesting topic about naturalism and being a religious person and how they kind of re-imbibe their idea of drag by being an a-religious person. A-religion is a terminology which is used to kind of associate with somebody who might not be, religiously inclined to a certain kind of a religion, but also somebody who kind of doesn't dismiss a certain kind of a practice. There's a very definite relation between a religion and atheism, and these are the two different perspectives or identities which we would be kind of exploring as in when we kind of go ahead with this conversation today. So before I kind of chime in, before I kind of bring my guest onto the show, I would like to kind of ask each and every one of you to please go and subscribe this particular channel, share episodes which you like with your friends, as well as help us get more reach by allowing and giving us more likes, comments. You can always send an email to pcsas number 3 at gmail.com with your comments, and I would be more than happy to listen as well as understand. This is a conversation which we are kind of having to kind of understand how faith plays a major role in our artistry, and I hope you will have a great time with us as well. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get our guest. Hi, namaste, and welcome to Drag Me to Heaven. And I'm Patruni Shastri coming ahead again with a wonderful conversation about faith and drag. With me, I have a very wonderful friend as well as a fellow drag artist from the east of India, if I could say. Yeah, definitely east of India, from Odisha, and Victoria, or how this name spells is Victworia, which with a whore in it. Victoria Jumbobutt is basically a drag artist from Odisha, and I've been following their work for a long time now. They create a very avant-garde way of presenting drag in itself, and it's a very niche way of how they kind of articulate drag. And today I have Victoria with me to kind of walk me through their ideas of beliefs and how their faith becomes a part of their work, or vice versa. Let's have a conversation and understand how the persona basically being involved, and how exactly faith is a part of how we see the world in a far more different way. So hi Victoria, hope you are doing great.
Hi, I'm doing well, fine.
Yeah. So finally we are talking, because we always
Yes,
been talking on social media and never have
webinars. Yes,
webinars. Yeah. I still remember you were there in one of the event at Hyderabad, and I was
webinar
saying
on Drag Day, International Drag Day. Yes,
International Drag Day, and also you were a part of a program in Hyderabad where you kind of came last
AICQM.
yeah 2000 2 years before, no
22.
what 22. And I still
Hmm.
remember I was performing there, and that's the first time I met you in person.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then after a long time again we are meeting in this way, especially with an online setup. So
Hmm.
so without any further ado, thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for accepting this particular opportunity to kind of speak to you as well as learn from you a lot of information which I'll be kind of talking across. So to start with, can you please introduce yourself and your faith and your belief to our audience?
Okay. So, my name is Victoria Jumbobutt, and which is my drag name, and my original name is Amit Bisoi, and I identify myself as a queer, non-binary. If I will specify, I am gender fluid, andro-romantic person, and also I'm a person who's living with HIV since 2 years, and I'm open about my status, open about my identity, and I'm 27-year old, and yeah, that is the thing. And if I would say, my drag is like my identity as well. Like, I don't specify my drag under any feminine or masculine term. I would make it prefer like it is something which is people will see that key, yes, like that person is not portraying a woman, that person is not portraying a man, that person is portraying just an art form. So for an artist, there should not be any gender roles. There should not be any specified age. So that is the thing. And yeah, so if we talk about faith, so I come from a place in Odisha, which is Puri district, which is, basically is famous for a biggest religious place. Char dhamo mein ek dham hai wo, and the people are highly religious, and yeah, people take decision over religion as well. Like even for it is for political, even if it is for development, education, health, anything that is dependent on the faith of the hands of the god. So yeah, वो चीज होता है. Then धीरे धीरे क्या होता है कि like when in general when I communicate with people who are from the community who are discreet, or people who are open but still, or people who are not from the community even, and they started, in general they are very much saying that कि हाँ इनका डोरी लगेगा तो होगा, मतलब उनका अगर वो बोलते हैं ना कि उनका डोरी लगेगा तो होगा, उनकी जो इच्छा होगी वो होगी, उनके फेथ को दर्शाते हुए, द हायर पावर को एड्रेस करते हुए. देन what happens that ki I said that ki like in general say that ki yeah, I don't believe in like religion, because there people say that ki I don't look like the typical localite of that city. So that ki you are not like, मेरे को बहुत बार बोला गया है, you look like Muslim, you look like you do not look like an Odia person, and the way you talk, एक मतलब ना हर जगह का एक डायलेक्ट होता है, हर लैंग्वेज का हर जगह का डायलेक्ट होता है. तो जो पूरी का एक डायलेक्ट है वो अलग तरीके का है, एंड मेरा डायलेक्ट वैसा भी नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी नहीं है बचपन से. सो उस चीज को लेके बहुत ज्यादा मतलब क्या बोलते हैं क्वेश्चनिंग आता है, एंड पीपल गिव इट, पीपल कम टू एन कंक्लूजन दैट कि इफ दैट पर्सन इज नॉट टॉकिंग योर लैंग्वेज और योर वे ऑफ सेइंग दैट लैंग्वेज, देन दैट पर्सन इज नॉट फ्रॉम दिस प्लेस. एंड हमारे मुझे वहां पे जो लोकल शॉप से मेरे को टूरिस्ट की तरह ट्रीट करते हैं. तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है उस टाइम, व्हेन यू गो फॉर बार्गेनिंग इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू बार्गेन इफ यू आर नॉट द लोकल पर्सन. So that is the thing. And so when in general conversation we start talking about religion and faith, so I specifically tell them I don't believe, I say I am an irreligious person. So they said that that means you are atheist, you don't believe in God, you don't believe in him. Like, no, I don't believe in the spectrum of religion or the idea of religion. Okay, I do not follow any religious ideologies, religious cultures. I used to be at some point of my life, I used to be one religious person, but then I realized that no, the religion is something which is not meant for me. It is like, it is not that it is too much commitment for me, but it is more of a like yeah, it is not working for me. Like people believe in religion because that gives them mental peace or spiritual power to gain their activities in their day-to-day lives. But merely it simply doesn't work. I have experienced it, and I guess somehow somewhere it gives me a vision that yeah, you are not meant for that thing. So when I talk with like religion wala thing, when I even cover to that, so people have that notion that people who are atheists, they're not going to respect the religion they are following or religious faith they are believing in. So that is a very wrong notion. People, even though people who are religious or atheist people, they do care about others, sensitivity towards or the respect towards the religion or the rituals they follow. Okay, like uh, whenever my colleagues who are from coming from another state or another district, they request me कि Amit, we would like to go and visit the main temple. So मैंने बोला ठीक है, like I cannot deny that, but I will be going, and I am not like behaving or praying like others. I will be just being their tour guide. ये ऐसा है वैसा, ये करो देखो यहाँ पे मिलता है ये. That is the kind of thing I do. Nothing else I do. But yeah, but I have a keen of interest in history, culture, and also I like to read scriptures, like religious scriptures. So कुछ भी हो, I like to read it. But I don't think that those kind of a thing are going to fit into my way of life, because people follow religion and people try to put that knowledge they are gaining from religion in their lives, so that they can that religion can lead them to the path.
Mhm.
So
So
that is the
one
thing.
thing which you have mentioned is like, so I'm just trying to understand, is there a very different meaning of being an atheist and being an irreligious person, or is just a like a more synonymous way of saying that atheist is somebody who doesn't believe in God at all, or rather criticize it, whereas irreligious person is somebody who might be, who might not be believing in the idea of religion, but doesn't want to tag along with the idea of religion, like doesn't criticize it, if I'm correct.
Yes. So actually, there is a difference between these two words. So as atheist, you said, like those are the people who do not believe in the existence of God. They don't believe like there is a God that is going to be, make our decision. That is a God who has created this world or controlling the activities that are happening in our surroundings. So a religious people are like those people. Like I can say for personally myself, like. I don't believe in like a particular religion or particular or any religion ka sub god ko I don't ये. I have my own higher power. I have my own not I will not use the word God because it will be again very controversial or something. I will be saying that I have my own higher power. I have my own faith to believe, which is like I believe in humanity. I believe in like whatever I am seeing, whatever I am experiencing, whatever I am observing the fact that is I am going to put that as my higher power and I am working on upon that only. So that is I can differentiate between a religious and atheist.
Thank you so much for specifying that, and it will kind of help the audience to kind of re analyze these words as well. Now, coming back to the favorite part, which is drag. Your drag artistry is something which is extremely unique, and it's very distinctive, if I could say, across anybody who's performing drag in India. And I would like to know that when you started doing drag, or when you started creating your persona, was your faith or faith values, or was your belief played any kind of a significant role?
Mm, yes, I would say it will. Like, I have always believed in sex positivity. Like, if I start my conversation in general, it will start from talking about sexual activities, how everything is happening around you, that those kind of a thing. But in a very positive way, like people will not feel weird ki why that person is always constantly talking about sex, sex, sex. It is more of like you see, matlab, you know in India how sex is a topic which is very taboo, even though in younger generations or elder generation, any generation. So when you start talking in a very casual manner about something, like for example, as sex you talk about or sexual activities you talk about, so people will think that ki, yeah, something that is something if a person who is talking about those activities in a very positive manner without making that sound like something which is very has to be very private. It should not be talked upon in a public space or sitting arrangement or anything. That is actually something like you need to start breaking the barriers, like the way now we talk about periods and menstruation. If you will say decades back or maybe some years back, there are like very much taboo. People will not even discuss about what are periods or menstruations or everything. So that is the thing. And when I portray my drag, I have, first I started very much in a confusing manner ki what I am going to present in my drag, because I have a notion of drag. Drag people have a mentality ki drag is all about just doing cross dressing and doing dance, perform. It's those item number pe nachna, that is kind of a thing. Dress up hona, high fashion dikhana, that is the thing. But it is not actually. Like drag is something which is like this is an art form. This is how you show your art to others and those audiences who can relate to your art form. So my art form has always been like that key. I have been showing that key, yeah, the body I am in right now. That's why I have like told you so many times, yeah, I don't my when you see my costumes, I don't wear traditional clothes. I wear very exposite clothes, which is not like a vulgar way. We're exposite clothes, and also I roam around in the venue. Like the people of that venue when we are doing the performances, they are looking at me, but they are not feeling uncomfortable. Like a person who is coming and talking to the bartender or talking to the in a reception, and I am wearing just a pantyhose and an underwear. In that, and my nipples are showing, my body is showing, my ass is showing. So they all don't feel uncomfortable around that. They say like, "Ki, yeah, he is not seeing that, which is very uncomfortable. So why would we see that as well?" So that is the kind of a thing. And in 2022, when I got tested for positive, then I immediately actually opened up about my status to the world, to everyone, so that the person who has already been had any kind of intercourse with me, so they can go and immediately contact me, or they can go for testing. That was my motto totally. I didn't have any kind of stigma कि अगर मैं open हो जाऊंगा तो I am not going to get any sex in later life. I was not worried about that. I was worried rather कि एक मिनट में या एक सेकंड के अंदर people should get that notification कि yeah, this thing happened with me, and you should also go and get tested. That is the thing. So so for the first, उसके बाद जो मैंने अपना first track performance किया था, which was, I got a very good reviews from that, which was in a Halloween party in 2022. So in that performance, what I did, I got an idea, like, why don't I do something which can be showing safer sex practice as well, and which can be showing that ki, like, being an HIV positive person, you don't need to hide anymore. You don't need to, like, also you don't need to hide anymore. Also you don't need to, हर टाइम पे उस चीज को रिपीट करना कि I am positive, उसका झंडा भी लहराना is not necessary. It varies to people as well. So what I did, I put some condoms and that packaged lubricants inside my chest area. And what I did, when in some point of my performances, I started throwing at people. So it, like, collected so many like view. Not, I will not say view, only people appreciated that, and nobody expected that. But the people I discussed with that, this is the organizers का जब मैंने बात किया कि this is I'm going to do. So they are very confused ki, like, how people are going to react. Like in a restaurant, you are doing this thing and वहाँ पे condoms throw कर रहे हो. How people are going to, like, see that ki, oh my god, that person is throwing condoms. And उनको समझ में नहीं आया कि, like, what is that person going to plan. Like वो उसके अंदर डाल रहा है, उसका क्या है, मतलब थिंक है, थॉट प्रोसेस है उसके पीछे ये करने का. So मेरे मन में क्लियर था कि that I am going to do, and this is going to be the part where I am going to shower the condoms and lubricants करके. And yes, when I just started throwing it, people started to collecting it. That is the main motive. Like, yeah, condom is free. If you want to have condom, go to any kind of testing center. You can get condoms easily. And nowadays, very much, very good quality condoms are available in free testing centers. Yeah.
No, I think this is a very interesting point of view which you have shared, because uh, people, drag artists are told to do kind of the idea of being sex positive. Having said that, oftentimes what exactly happens is, like, they create their own boundaries, and even when they are kind of creating a performance which might be sex positive, they're not going to the idea of extremity. And if you are not going to the idea of extremity, you're not pushing the audience. They're in their own comfort space, and you are trying to create some art form which is not, which is not giving that punch which an artist has to kind of provide to audience at times. And what you're going and telling is, because I think I should have been there, because that is something which is very interesting to kind of know, like how our body becomes a part of drag, and how you kind of go ahead and dismantle the boredom of a space by kind of engaging and kind of exposing how exactly a condom looks like. There might be half of the people in the room when you are throwing condoms who might not be even knowing that, okay, this is how it looks like. So it's a very deep
पैकेट के अंदर कैसे दिखता है.
yeah. And this is something which is geniusness, if I could say. And I was not aware about it. The way how you present a work is something which is very I would say thought provoking in its own nature. And we need more people like it is what I need to kind of say it over here. Now, my question again, which we kind of come back, is would you walk us through some of your experiences where you individually faced any disassociation with your faith or value, in and especially when it relates to drag, and on what level the dissociation you felt?
Okay. So I felt it majorly. I have felt it inside the community. I would say preferably and openly. I am saying that even though we are marginalized communities in India, we are not दूध के धुलेस. So there are like people when I started talking and conversations, and when they call me sometimes and say that, "Ki Amit, ye you are staying in that place. You are very lucky. You will be visiting the temple whenever you want to visit." मैंने कहा, no, that is not the case. I don't like to go to temples. I don't like to go to any like religious place. I like to visit the historical places. Okay, I visit, if I go and visit that Kodaka Sun Temple, that I am not going for worshipping. I am going to see that architecture. I am going to see that culture that has been under work and the art in that, so that I can learn. I can also like explore that kind of a thing. So yeah, that has been created a barrier in the sense ki like people will not find you interesting enough to communicate. Like there are people who take interest in taking conversations, like they have, if they have similar interest. Like suppose if a person who has political beliefs, or they might be having a positive like one political party they are supporting and they believe in their ideologies, so they will start talking in that, or maybe business or maybe work or anything. When it comes to people who believe in that ki religion can be a topic which is a conversation starter, so they start with that. And I feel like I said that no, I don't believe it in that way. And yeah, and then they start talking about, they thought that ki if I am a religious person, I don't have knowledge about any religion. So they started झाड़ोइंग ज्ञान ऑन मी, मेरे ऊपर कि ये इस रिलीजन में ऐसा होता है, ये हमारा रिलीजन कितना ब्यूटीफुल है, ये है वो है. मैंने कहा, आई नो एवरीथिंग ऑल दैट. I don't need to know that. I know that. The only thing is that I don't like कि you are pushing your religious ideology on me to convert myself. People have always blamed how to say Christian missionaries that they are trying to convert people from their own religion to their religion they are following. But actually, it is happening in other religions as well. In Hinduism also, it has also started. There will you will find a single person in every room who will come to you, will talk about religion, who will talk about any specific religion, something, and he will try to तुम्हारा brain wash करने को start करेगा. You will also feel fascinated by following such religion.
This is something which is very
So
interesting. I think, yeah, but if you're seeing what is the difference between, okay, if some other religion, which again, other is a word which is not,
mm,
which I am not been exposed to, and something else is kind
mm,
of coming out and saying something about their religion or their faith or their belief, and when somebody is trying to force us, what we say is, oh, this is something which is conversion. Right, but
mhm,
what is the conversion which happens within a family unit, especially? Like, religion has always been a part of a
mhm.
conversion situation in families, right? You imply you spread that religion across your children, your generations, etc. Isn't that conversion? So I think that is a very interesting anecdote which you shared, and I think it's also very retrospective that how people see it.
So, so there is a story for that to describe. Like
Hmm.
the family I have born with. So my father is in high. My father and my father's father, my grandfather, they both are very highly religious person. Okay, they like सुबह उठ के they will spend 2 to 3 hours in puja room for doing puja. ओके, सो दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग मेरे को हर टाइम बचपन से टॉन्ट मारा गया है कि सुबह उठाकर मंदिर जा, ये कर वो कर, बट आई नेवर लिसन टू देम. ठीक है. तो दैट इज द एंड माय मदर इन द अदर हैंड, मदर जिस फैमिली से बिलोंग करती है, यू विल नॉट बिलीव, माय मदर एंड हर फैमिली दे आर फ्रॉम एन रिमोट एरिया इन पुरी, जैसे गांव, बट उनके घर में पूजा नहीं होता है, भगवान नहीं है उनके घर में. ओके, उनके घर में ना भगवान है, ना उनके घर में दिया जलता है, ना कभी भोग लगता है, कुछ होता है, बट दे सेलिब्रेट द फेस्टिविटीज. लाइक जो फेस्टिवल्स में मिठाई मिठाई बनती है वो होता है, बट दे डोंट हैव दैट रेगुलर पूजा वाला ये वाला थिंग. ठीक है. So one of my aunt came after marriage and she started that thing, but never in their entire life they have done, or not even her parents have even forced their children to go to mandir, go to it. If you, they said that if you feel like you go, if you do not feel like, you just do your own bhakti by your way. So my mother is also same thing. My mother and father have always been having argument over that ki, my mother says ki, why are you forcing him to go, and my father says that ki, no, he has to also, spirituality is something that is going to help him in developing their brain, mentality, बिहेवियर, वो सब चीजें, एंड दोस काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग होता है. तो मुझको बचपन में आई वाज फोर्स टू सेंट इनटू वन स्पिरिचुअल एकेडमी, लाइक अलोंग विथ माय एकेडमिक स्टडी देयर इज अ स्पिरिचुअल एकेडमी एज वेल, जो कि मतलब स्टार्ट भी वो आंध्रा से ही हुआ था, एक वो एकेडमी है. तो उड़ीसा में उनका एक ब्रांच था, तो में दे विल गिव यू ओनली, मतलब दे टॉक अबाउट हाउ टू से सर्वधर्म के बारे में, लाइक सर्वधर्म समानता के
I
बारे
think
में.
I get that because I was also, into one of the schools which has been there. One thing which helped me is like, okay, it developed me to think about other religions or give some information. But having said that, like when it's a godmanship, if you create a godmanship, I think I was very troubled. My childhood is so much troubled because of that. I was in a boarding school and I was put into this place where they have cut off me from my parents. I had parents and still I was living like an orphan. I was doing all the things which are said to be sin. Like I was lying, I was staying with people, and I got abused as a part of this particular school which I was in, and a lot of other things which happened. So then I realized, like, okay, godmanship is not something which you should always kind of think about, and I kind of came out, and I think that is one of the reason why I my relationship with my faith is like I always kind of get back to, it's like if somebody's saying, okay, you should do this so that you'll get this, I'll first ask, okay, what is the science behind it, what is the logic behind it. If I find that logic is helping me out, at least keeping my mind in peace, I will buy it. If I don't find that logic, I said, like, okay, no, this is not something. So this constant questioning is something which is always a part of. And I think I get you from where you are coming from as well. So I was it was very interesting conversation which we had about like how basically our childhood is what puts up in a relationship with our
Yes.
faith and religion. So I have just following it to that. Okay, we spoke about how faith sometimes is a very dissociation with oneself. Now, again, I wanted to ask you, when you do drag or when you kind of perform drag, is there anything which affirms your a-religionness? Like, when you're performing, when you're kind of creating a drag persona, does your a-religious faith, play a very important role? And you seek that, did you kind of feel euphoric and, synergic with your faith when you're performing drag? And if you can kind of mention a couple of instances or experiences, which you had, that would kind of help us, elaborate this as well.
Okay. So when I perform or when I try to show my art, so majority of the time I don't feel like to bring any religious belief in that particular while I'm doing that, because it might be get controversial, it might be get when I, but what about my personal faith or personal religion or whatever that is. So when I go for that, I don't portray that thing, because I don't want to also impose that. I don't want to also show that to people. Yeah, this is something which is a religiousness, and that is something which is also way out there. It is cool, or it is do that, and you should also, yeah. And people will ask me, what did you show about your religious thing and that portrayed in your story or something? And like, what is that actually? We want to know. ये करके. That I don't do that in my performances, and I try to keep that away from my performance and drag art form. Yes, but yes, if something that is coming, like supposedly I am performing, and one person comes and tries to do something which is representing a gesture or some act which is representing someone's one religious faith or one religious culture. Okay, then in the same time I started to stop doing that, but not in a way that ki, oh my god, you are doing this, I am not going to, like, I'm just avoiding you. That is also I do. Like, yes, you are doing it, I am taking that bow, and then again I move on with it. That is kind of a thing I do.
Indeed, that's a very interesting, part which you have shared. Now, what I wanted to kind of check with you is, again, this is an idea which I'm trying to kind of drop in over
Mhm.
here, because what I have seen, especially with what exactly happens in the US, especially how drag has been used as a medium for hell lot of things. Not only about advocacy, not only about activism, but also to kind of propagate the idea of faith or faith ideologies. Like there are drag artists in US who are working with churches to kind of bring in people who feel that church is not a place for them to kind of affirm with their religion. And there are a lot of other such small net of people, like there's indigenous drag artists who are trying to rebring their children or rebring their youth to accept their culture and try to see it
Mhm.
across. So, in one or the other way, drag has been used as a medium. So, do you think that drag
Mhm.
can be used as a medium to kind of use or have a conversation about faith and diversity in faith or interfaith conversations? And how do you think if that will that help us in any way? And if it does help us, what would be what are some of the things which might help, and if it doesn't help, what might be the things which it might not cater to.
Okay, so it is a very good thing. Like as we say, as artists, we are supposed to show art as well as if we send some social message in that. That is also some kind of a thing that which makes your art form very rich. Okay, like we know there are artists. Like not talking about drag artists. I'm talking about general artists. People who perform their art to commercialize it. There are people who showcase their art to make a change. We know, like there are people, there are artists, like Lady Gaga. She has never believed in commercializing. She has always made in social statement whenever she's doing it. And the other hand, there are other artists who try to commercialize it, or maybe they try to capitalize over some issue for making their art form. Okay, so when it comes to that, I have always done that thing. Ki I am a person who admires the culture, who admires the how to say the tradition that has been followed in one native land, such as like in Odisha. Okay, so during one Pride, what I did, I went for an out of the box thinking. Ki I will not wear something which is going to be very much Western. Let me wear something which is related to Odia and people can relate that. So I wear that Pasapalli sari, Sambalpuri sari, which is a like very authentic sari of Odisha, and it has been worn in the how to say the rural parts of the Odisha. तो उसमें I brought one thing and I had some DIY in that and फिर उसको ये करके I went for a look for a tribal look, like how tribal community people represent themselves and the earrings and those kind of thing and that look, because as you talked about indigenous people, the tribal community is something which is like filled with indigenous people. तो उसमें क्या होता है कि people have seen them in a very how to say in a very marginalized way or very backward way. Like there are some sort of people they live like this, वैसे घर में रहते हैं, उनका लाइफस्टाइल इज सो मच बैकवर्ड, वो अभी भी पानी इसमें पीते हैं, खाते इसमें, उनका खाने का तरीका ऐसा है. इंडिया हैज लाइक वेरियस ट्राइबल पीपल एंड उनका खाना इज टू मच वेरी मच organic I'm talking about. It's not like कि fancying the food and ये organic वाला food. तो people say that कि उनका खाना ऐसा है because उनके वो इसी tradition में मतलब चले आए हैं, पैदा हुए आए हैं, रहे आए हैं, which is wrong. That is the thing that is like कि it is good for them, it is healthy for them, they are following it. And same goes for their clothes as well. The makeup they do, or even the earrings, the facial expressions they do, or something that is their own way of living, and which is they embrace that. They don't do that key just because they don't have any option. They have option to go and live in a like in a town, in a city, and follow the trend, but still they try to follow the traditional way, which I admire a lot, and which I also try to follow in that as well.
Great. Thank you so much for answering that question. Now, again, the world is very divided on the idea of religion. Like we are seeing a lot of atrocities happening. Religion is kind of forced into us for a lot of, especially for queer kids. We see, conversion therapies happening on the name of religion. We see Babas basically kind of going and giving, advices like, eat vegetarian for 5 weeks and you'd become straight. Very weird.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I think when these situations are there, or when these kind of conversations are there, as drag artists, do you think we have more responsibility to kind of demystify faith and also guide the youth, especially queer youth, in a
Mhm.
far more better way or far more nuanced way?
Yeah, it is actually as drag artist, like when we say art, artist doesn't only define you inside your एक bubble that you have to, you are just meant to come you meant to dance, you meant to entertain people, and you have to go. So when you go to that stage, like hundreds and thousands of people are watching you, and when they see you, if you showcase them the reality of life, if you show them the reality of the society and reality of that key, why, how come such religious beliefs, and the not a single religion will tell you to do such thing, to convert this person, do such thing, to hurt a person, which includes hurting people. Okay, so the people who have started that dialogues from derived and the from taking that references of those religions कि इसमें ये लिखा है आप ये करो तो आपका ये हो जाएगा, that is like totally bullshit. That is their way of, I will say, that is their way of capitalizing. कि हमको कैपिटलाइज करना है रिलीजन के ऊपर, हमको अपना अगर कुछ मतलब क्या बोलते हैं, अब इफ यू विल सी अभी लाइक इंडिया में बाबाज का जो पूरा एक पॉपुलेशन है बढ़ गया है. Like new babas are coming and they are doing their work, they are saying like
I had an
again.
idea. What if I become drag mata?
हाँ,
It would be a very good
I also
establishment.
had that conversation the same. Like I will start my own religion of that. I will start a nudist religion in here, sex positive religion in here.
Yeah. No, but
So
also
these
tell
kind of
me, because you also talked about nudism as well as sex positiveness. There are some faiths again. I'm not sure if it's I don't know the exact faith, but there is a certain faiths which believe in the idea of nudism, like how exactly they kind of. But it's very non-mainstream faiths, if I could say it in that way. Whereas mainstream or people who are majoritarians or kind of leading a certain kind of an aspect, nudism is seen as a very I would say, a derogatory way of presenting one person's life. And there again, there's a conflict where you see that okay, how the society is basically kind of seeing nudism and how individually you kind of present it, or create the idea of it. When you said you are also creating ideas of the idea of drag is also something which you try to imbibe with nudism. So what I wanted to ask is whenever you are trying to kind of there might be people or younger generation of people who are watching you at this point in time and who are trying to understand or find that balance which you have as of now in navigating both faith and religion and drag or queer expression. So what would be your message for those people, and uh, also a little bit of explain or help us explain about which thing is the major requirement of the society as of now. Is it sex positiveness, and how can one challenge the idea of being sex positive while kind of while having a certain kind of a faith?
okay. So the first thing I would like to say, ki question your faith first. Like if you want to become a human of your own, then you have to first question your faith, question your beliefs. Then you will get to know that ki whether this faith or this religion that I'm currently right now, or might be my family or society has put me into it ki you have to follow certain religion or faith, then you will get to know that ki whether I am meant for this or not. Because at the end of the day, religion is something not you are born with. Religion is something you are taught with and you have to be experienced it. Okay, so I also thought that ki when I was young, I thought that ki yeah, I am going to believe in this. ये हमारे family में ये follow करे and I will also have to follow. Then I had questioned about it कि yeah, this thing is saying this, but इसमें भी किस तरीके का एक मतलब क्या बोलते हैं hypocrisy है, किस तरीके का ये है, तो how come I am going to believe in that kind of a thing? तो वो चीज you have to question yourself. Don't go with the flow because nowadays like India is changing and this generation, the youth is changing, and if you will not question and if you will become the the sheep of another herd, then it is not going to work, and you cannot make your own decision. Okay, religions are made when earlier times, when all the religions are made, they were made so that human beings who have distress, human beings who are in a confused manner in their life, in a confused state of mind, what decisions they make in their harder times of their lives. So they can make that kind of decision in a very subtle way, in such a peaceful manner. Okay, so that is the thing that I would like to say. Ki do not just go what you are seeing or what other people are doing. Try to question that, and then you will experience that ki how my religion is, or maybe I am not perfect for this religion. I am meant for building my own religion. That can be your thing. And what was that other question?
Yeah, how to navigate a nudistic ideology within a faith.
Okay. So nudistic ideology within a faith, as you said, there are religions which also includes nudity. Like, yeah, I also know that there people also exist in India as well. Like people who do not wear clothes. In Odisha as well, there is a tribe. They even this year also, if you'll go to that village, those people will never wear clothes. Like men, women, they all are naked. And there is a small village in Odisha. They live in that only. Okay, so only just because government came and they gave them some clothes, they have taught them to wear clothes. Okay, as if that kid for them, nudity is something which is obscenity, which is wrong. Because in our culture also, if you will see in Konark temple you go, or you will Khajuraho temple you will go, you will see scriptures of nudism. You will see scriptures of sex positivity. You will see scripture, statues of, and if you will see, there are other god and goddesses also. Okay, they have been worshipped for certain act, worship for certain purpose. Like there are god and goddess who are for sex, lust. Okay, there are goddess who are like the to how to suppress the excessive lust in your body. Okay, so how come, if there is a thing that is already existing in our culture, in every religion, so how come we are thinking that that is obscenity? And might be whatever thing we will try to suppress, we will try to compress that, it is anyway going to blast. So that is the thing, like that is how I can link. So that is the main reason when I like linked my nudism or sex positivity in my art form, so that people will see that key. No, it is not something which we need to care, because what is actually consists nudism? Your genitals, right? And your genitals doesn't hold your pride, doesn't hold your identity, doesn't hold your respect. That is the thing I can say. Because in our country, like women started, females started wearing blouses when only after Britishers came. Before that, there was no concept of blouse or petticoats. Yes.
It's also because of the colonization and how exactly it's been kind of, how we make a difference between what is naturalism and what is obscenity. And I think that is
Mhm.
where the entire conversation or the conflict of, clothes would define a certain person's identity is what being kind of made. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing all these aspects of it. And it's a very interesting and nuanced conversation which we had. And I think I'm almost done with all my questions. I just want to kind of say that this has been a very very interesting way to kind of understand and realize or kind of go through you as a part of your faith journey. And I hope that these conversations would keep on happening. To all the people who are listening to Drag Me to Heaven, you can find Victoria Jumbobutt in Instagram. I would tag it on my episode as well. Please go ahead and reach out to us. There would be also you can also write to me as a feedback, or you can also write to me asking some questions on pcsas number 3 at gmail.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram. Please go ahead and share your love and share your support. Share this particular episode with all the people, and we hope to kind of connect with you in the next episode with another wonderful person, again a drag artist, navigating their faith journey. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you.